This is Valheim, the best Viking survival building game I've ever played. Released in 2021 in early access, Valheim has come a long way in regards to building. From the day I built my first house to the day I built this castle. So today I wanted to take on the challenge of transforming a Draugr village into the ultimate village. Lisa suggested this and a lot of you guys liked it. I totally agree. The Draugr village is bland. Doesn't feel like it was lived in, doesn't feel like Vikings used to defend this space, gather for a feast and live the full life. Well, try to live one. So let's begin transforming a Valheim Draugr village. Here's what I have planned. The village should have one mead hall, 7 homes, 3 watchtowers, and a gatehouse. In total, that's 12 buildings. Starting off with the mead hall, this should be the center of attention. I think it should have a grand appearance and a sophisticated design that stands out amongst the other structures. So before I started building, I sketched a mead hall I wanted to follow so that the building process is smooth and so I don't get overwhelmed. Also, I wanted to try a new roof design, which is going to involve using lots of angle beams. Now that I have a sketch, I hopped in the game to try and execute the design. Usually, I start building from ground to top, but the roof is new to me, so I started from there with the help of core wood, door, and along with the manual snapping points. It made this process a breeze. At first glance, you would think Japanese-style roofs inspired this, which was not what I intended to do. I was planning to keep in the Viking theme for the village with some other stuff sprinkled in, but I will make it work somehow. So, let's do this. Our first build was completed, 1 down, 11 to go. So next were the 7 homes. Before I worked out a design, I needed to terraform the land to visualize where the homes were going. So adding the roads that lead to where the homes were going to be would help me use the space properly and also consider the best spot to place the watchtowers and the gatehouse. Once that was done, I went online and searched for inspiration for the first home. At times, coming up with designs can be exhausting, so getting a little inspiration can nudge you in the right direction. I found this one that I liked with the raised foundation, which is what I had in mind for the homes. So back to the drawing board. Using that picture for inspiration, I created my own design from it that I thought in my head would look interesting. On paper, it didn't look too bad, but sometimes in game, it may turn out different. Hopefully, it turns out good. Enough sketching. Time to build. While I was building, I thought the home should have a theme. So for the second house, I was considering having a raised foundation, having roof angle beams connected all the way to the ground like the old Draugr buildings, mixing regular stone with gray stone and ash wood with regular wood, wherever it seems to fit. This was just an easy, not overcomplicated build that turned out feeling cozy. So while I was finishing up working on the second home and trying to figure out what the third home was going to be, a friend of the channel reached out to me, an awesome, talented Valheim builder. You should check out his channel. He's called The Basic Builder.
Hey V, how's it going?
Hey, it's going good.
Good, good. Working on anything good?
Yeah, I'm trying to transform this Draugr village.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been just roaming around the internet trying to find some inspiration and came across this build.
Hey, you want to race to see who can build this the fastest in Valheim?
Oh yeah, game on.
What was supposed to be a fun race turned into a productive one. I had my third house done. You might be wondering, who won the race? Well, the fourth build was a Blacksmith Workshop / home. This build is my favorite. What I envisioned for this build is to have a dedicated area for smelting, which would look like an oversized chimney venting out all the smoke from the smelters. I always wanted to build something like this, and the idea has been floating in my head back when Mistlands came out, but I didn't know how to execute a decent looking build with the limitations back then. But not anymore. The door was what I needed to solve my problems, and I think it turned out absolutely fabulous. For the right side, the blacksmith would have a workshop below to spend sleepless nights to make some of the finest high-quality gear to fend off the strongest enemies in Valheim. Above that workspace is a space for the blacksmith to rest his head after a hard day's work if he pleases. And he doesn't have to worry about being warm when he has the oversized chimney to provide all the heat he needs. For the killings, I wasn't sure where to put those, so I set up an area to the right of the build that turned out great. Number 4 down. For the remaining 3 buildings I needed to make the 7, I kinda got lazy with this one. I took 3 of the first buildings and created different versions of each. For the first build, I got rid of the tower and yeah, that's pretty much it. The second build, I made some changes to the angle beams connected to the ground and added a dormer. This was the first design before I tweaked it to be what I have for the second home. And for the third build, I tried my best to make it work. Yeah, I wasn't sure, wasn't feeling it, but yeah, it has to work. With all that done, I had 7 homes in total. It was time to fit them all in the village and do some landscaping. The homes were in place and the roads were cleaned up. So the next step was to work on the Watchtower, the entrance gate, and the walls for the village. I also did a sketch for the tower and followed it to come up with this design. The gate I did behind the scene because I got lazy. I didn't even want to record because of Valheim building fatigue. Some parts of the build I tweaked compared to what I have on the sketch, and it turned out surprisingly well. Because at first I didn't think that the roof would look this good for the tower. With all that done, I was able to add them to the village along with the walls. If you were wondering what was the instance count when I was done, it was almost 30k. And there it was, the village project was over. Finally, it was time to turn it into the new Draugr village. Imagine finding this Draugr village in game. Now this feels like there's a story behind it all. If you enjoy watching videos like this and want to support the channel, go ahead and check out my Patreon page. There are some perks there. And thank you for watching the Draugr village transformation.